So Tottenham have just beaten Cambridge United 7-1 in a behind closed door friendly. Bergvall and Archie Gray played. Micky Moore scored after coming on in the second half. Quite a lot of young players for Tottenham played, as players like Van der Ven, Romero just come back from international duty. Brennan Johnson got a hat-trick. Son got 2 goals. And in today's video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about Tottenham's 7-1 win over Cambridge United that happened behind closed door, all the info, and then give you my thoughts as a neutral, as a Manchester United fan on Tottenham and what they're building at the moment. Because I think if I was a Tottenham fan, I'd be getting quite excited. You have some brilliant youngsters. You're signing some brilliant youngsters. You may be bringing in Doue, Eze, some interesting signings. So I'm going to talk to you about Tottenham Hotspur. So let's get into the details from Tottenham's game. So Tottenham obviously played Cambridge United and they won 7-1. So far, the details that are known is that Jamie Donnelly played at left back during the first half versus Cambridge this afternoon. I believe he is a midfielder. Again, Manchester United fan, don't watch much of Tottenham youth, but I believe he's a midfielder. Obviously, as well, other young players played like Byfield, and the goals in the first half, 3 came from Brennan Johnson and Son, and the second half, the goals came from Micky Moore and an own goal, which was forced by Timo Werner. So who played in the Tottenham game? What went down? Because that's 7 goals against Cambridge United. I know it's Cambridge United, but you had a lot of key players missing. No Van der Ven, no Romero, no players that are internationals. And you absolutely thrashed them, particularly in the first half. There was 2 completely different teams. Man United do this a lot in pre-season where they have one team play the first half, then they make 11 changes, another team play the second half. Now, Micky Moore, Tyrese Hull and Donnelly were part of the first team match versus Cambridge. They were youngsters that played predominant minutes. It's been confirmed that Bergvall and Archie Gray played, and Archie Gray played in the second half at right back. Bergvall played in the second half as a creative midfielder. Maddison also played in the second half, so he played Bergvall and Maddison together in midfield with Gray at right back in the second half. In the first half, Pedro Neto played at right back, Basuma and Kulu played. Kulu's believed to have played in the 10 role. Basuma's believed to play behind him with Son and Brennan obviously on the wing. Werner played on the wing in the second half, is believed. Skip came into midfield in the second half. It was a Bergvall, Skip, Maddison midfield in the second half. Micky Moore playing on the right and Emerson Royale obviously playing at right back. And a few youngsters played at the back for Tottenham and had to fill in at the back, potentially out of position for some of them due to, of course, just key players not being there back in training yet. Netherlands have just been knocked out. Romero has been brilliant at Copa America. Romero and Lissandro Martinez at Copa America, both of them have been absolutely fantastic together. What a partnership. If only Romero could come to Manchester United, we could use you next to Martinez as a Varane replacement, eh? I know you're not selling him, but I'm just saying. Also, do apologise that the lighting isn't brilliant for this video. I'm on holiday, so I'm just not making as much content at the moment, and the lighting isn't as good. And hopefully the video comes out clear. Abbott and Gunter were also amongst youngsters that featured. Moore played on the right wing and scored, and apparently Moore had a really good game, really making an impression on Ange Postecoglou. Now, look, I'm not a Tottenham fan, but one player I've been hearing a lot about is Micky Moore, and this is in the world of football youngsters. He's one of the highest rated football youngsters in the world. In fact, Manchester United were inquiring about Micky Moore, see if they could get him in. Man United, we know Man United youth. We brought this guy called Harry Amash from Watford last year, and he's been unbelievable for our academy. Could make a breakthrough for the first team. Man United a couple of years ago brought Garnacho when he was 14 at Atletico Madrid. Man United love to buy some of the best academy players at 14, 15, 16. Obviously, recently with Garnacho, Alvaro Fernandez, although we sold him to Benfica. We've looked at Micky Moore, and that just shows you how good Micky Moore is, because I think Chelsea have looked at him, Liverpool have looked at him. He's wanted by all those top clubs. He's probably one of the highest rated youngsters in football as well. Solomon also is featured. So I wanted to use this as an opportunity to talk about Tottenham just as a neutral, giving you my perspective on Tottenham and what they're building. Look, so this is what I've seen as potentially Tottenham's lineup for next season and your options, assuming that Skip is sold, Højbjerg is sold, a couple of people that believe to be sold, like Emerson Royale is believed to be sold. If I am missing someone, do let me know in the comments. I apologise. I've probably missed someone important. Now, you are reportedly going to sign Eze, who would probably go in the 10 role or potentially left wing. But I do think that Tottenham need a winger, someone that could play left and right wing, and potentially a striker, because I do think Son's better on the wing. And then you could have Son on the left wing, someone on the right wing, and then a striker up top. Ivan Toney would be a good option for sure. But when you look at Tottenham, they got some really good players there. Like, I think that Maddison's a great player. I know he dropped off end of the season, but he's a good player. Bergvall is one of the most talented youngsters coming up. He can even play where Sarr and Bentancur are. I just couldn't be bothered to add him twice. Gray has potential to be a top player. Gray's got to be moulded in, and he is ultimately a midfielder, not a right back. But I think he could push Bazuma out the side, because Bazuma again started well at Tottenham, but towards the end of the season wasn't his best. Now, one thing I think about Tottenham is their defence is sorted. Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, Vicario. From watching Tottenham last season, yes, Tottenham conceded goals last season, but when I looked at the goals Tottenham conceded, it came through just midfield mistakes, and the fact that teams were so easily able to play through Tottenham's midfield, the defence was exposed and had too much to do. Just because Tottenham didn't get many clean sheets doesn't mean their defence bad. I saw some guy on Twitter saying Tottenham's defence is overrated because they conceded goals and didn't keep a clean sheet. It's like, no, it's because of the structure of the midfield and some issues with maybe not having an out-and-out DM. Romero and Van der Ven were fantastic for Tottenham last season. Udogie was good. Pedro Porro really impressed me as well. There's question marks over how he'd fit into Ange's system and playing in a back four. They did really well. Potentially, maybe you want someone that can fill in at left centre-back and left back, and I think Calafiore would have been amazing. I did a video about 2, maybe 3 months ago now, and this was before you were linked to Archie Gray or Desiree Doue. Like, you hadn't even been linked to these guys, where I named 4 realistic players Tottenham's to sign, and this was Calafiore before the Euros, before we got the hype, Desiree Doue, Ivan Toney, and Archie Gray. Archie Gray was one of my suggestions. You already signed him and you weren't even linked to him then. And you might sign Desiree Doue, and you're looking at Ivan Toney, and you could have maybe got Calafiore, but he's Arsenal bound. So, maybe someone at Tottenham was watching that video. I'm only joking. But I think potentially you could be building something exciting. But one of the things exciting about Tottenham is the youth. And that's what I wanted to talk about at Tottenham. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't know all of Tottenham's youth. I don't know how good they are, but I tell you what, I know a lot about Micky Moore. Well, I haven't watched him play loads, but I just know that he's good. I know Archie Gray is really good. I did analysis on him when he was linked to United. I watched him at Leeds. Really impressed me, really picked up in some big games. Is a midfielder, filled in at right back for most of last season. Done videos on Archie Gray as well. If you want to know more about him, watch my videos on Archie Gray. Bergvall, obviously fantastic talent. Donnelly, Phillips, obviously fantastic talent as well. Sarr, I think, is a good player. I believe he's 22 now. He really impressed me last season, Sarr. He was hit and miss. There was inconsistencies for sure, but you get that with, in a team that's in the first year of its rebuild and a young player. But you could see what Sarr adds. Udogie, again, fantastic talent. I think before his injury, he could have arguably been in the team of the season at left back. He had a really good season. Dragusin, not seen him yet. Well, seen a little bit of him, but I think there's a really good player in Dragusin. Van der Ven, absolutely fantastic. Brennan Johnson, when he came off the bench, was lethal. I think he's got one of the best minutes per assist or minutes per big chance created in the league last season. He had some impact. Pedro Porro was good, and Kulusevski, you know what he can do, but I do think he shines more in central spaces for Tottenham. Also, they didn't include Veliz on the list, but he's a top talent as well. But don't loan players out to Sevilla, hey? And if you look at Tottenham, they've obviously got the youngsters. Micky Moore, Archie Gray, the Croatian guy, because I'm going to fluff off his name, and Lucas Bergvall are 4 youngsters at Tottenham that are rated by sort of rising star as top talents. And that's when I was talking about Micky Moore. Like, people know Micky Moore because sometimes you have a player in your academy that's a different level talent. Now, 2.5 years ago, when Kobbie Mainoo was 16 and Garnacho was 16, Man United were in the Youth Cup final. So this would have been March or April 2022. So 2.5 years ago, I said Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, and potentially Dan Gore. I said those 3 players I think will make it in the first team. Now, Dan Gore hasn't, he's got injury issues. But 2 years after I said Kobbie Mainoo and Garnacho are brilliant talents, they're in the first team for United. And if you watched Man United in the youth, you knew that Garnacho was a special player. You knew that Kobbie Mainoo was a special player. And that's why they got a lot of hype from Man United players coming through. But yet also other good youngsters in the youth. But Kobbie Mainoo stood out. Garnacho stood out. And they're playing for the first team now. And I think Micky Moore is one of those players where Tottenham have loads of good players in youth. There could be some surprise names come through. But Micky Moore is just a special level of talent. But you could be adding more exciting names to this. And Desiree Doue is one of them. Now, I want to keep this bit of the video short and sweet. So I've not gone into detailed analysis. But as you can see on the screen, Tottenham are interested in Desiree Doue. This guy, I believe, is 19 now, believed to be 35 million. And when I say Ballon d'Or potential, I mean Ballon d'Or potential. Now, look, if you have the budget for Neto, potentially go for Neto because he's the ready-made product and he can play on the right and Son can play on the left. but Neto also has an injury record, which is a risk. Now, Desiree Doue predominantly plays left wing and attacking midfield, particularly left wing, but he can play centre mid, he can play right wing. He could probably even do a shift in false nine. He got 10 goals and assists and 25 starts at 18, but it wasn't just his goals and assists, it wasn't his output, it's how good he was on the ball. 1v1 against opponents, got past the ability to dribble, make things happen, pass, move. He could move his feet so quickly. He can manipulate defenders. He's so comfortable on the ball, retaining the ball, but he's got that pace to burst through opponents. He's also got, he reminded me of Foden a little bit in his ability in close control, can dribble around people, but then has the pace to go wide and play out wide, whereas I think Foden struggled a little bit being a touchline out left for England. He had the ability to do that. But when you look at how press resistant he is, how intelligent he is, I think decision-making, final ball was good. And then the technical ability to execute that final pass is brilliant. He's a direct guy that can go inside and out. He's a great passer. I think he shines at passing. His vision is execution. I think this has got elements of Foden in him, just a special player, technical player. And considering Ange wants technical players at Tottenham, he could raise their level. If you look at more details on this, as well as Desiree Doue, they're looking at Pedro Neto as well. This is from my analysis I did on Pedro Neto back in January, but I just thought I'd include it in today's video. So these stats are quite old, but 14 goal contributions in 1,500 minutes is very good. Can play all around the place. Pedro Neto, predominantly right wing. He's quick. He's direct. He is an Ange Postecoglou type winger because he can carry the ball at far distances, take on people one-on-one, can go inside or outside. He's versatile, he's hardworking. He's a proper Ange Postecoglou winger. Fast, direct, good 1v1. It's a great ball progressor. It's what Ange wants on the winger. I think Pedro Neto is absolutely perfect for Ange ball. It's about the price and it's about the injuries, because his quick feet, his ability to manipulate defenders, take on people 1v1, go inside, go outside, go down the byline, put in a cross. You know, Brennan Johnson was quite lethal at getting down the byline and putting crosses, and Neto can do that even better. Using his body to navigate in and out of tight spaces and being a natural creator, as well as having a good work rate. I think he'd be great for Ange ball. And then you obviously have Archie Gray, who you've just signed. Again, did a video in detail talking about Archie Gray. Now, he played at right back for Tottenham today versus Cambridge United, but it's believed that Archie Gray is predominantly going to be seen as a midfielder. I think he is a midfielder that's playing right back. But if you watch Archie Gray and you follow him through the youth ranks and you know about him, he played midfield. Leeds had issues at right back. He filled in there. He is a natural midfielder. When you can receive the ball at all angles like Archie Gray can, when you're completely press resistant, you can receive the ball at all angles and pass the ball at all angles. And you're such a good passer that can also carry the ball and have the defensive awareness he does. I think eventually his skill set could be wasted at right back, and that's not me taking a dig at people to play right back. But when you look at his abilities to receive the ball at all angles, his potential in build-up and possession, he's definitely a midfielder. You know, his composure on the ball, his press resistance. One thing that really impressed me, and I spoke to a Leeds fan about Archie Gray, and I did a video analysing him, is his defensive awareness. He reads the game so well. He can cut out passing lanes. He can obviously dribble because going up on the right, but he can convert. He can play as a right back converting, but predominantly he will be a midfielder because of how comfortable he is on the ball and at passing the ball. And I think he's probably someone that could be an England player in the future. He should be an England player in the future if he reaches his potential as well at Tottenham Hotspur. But also, one thing that I've noticed lately is those long-legged midfielders are really sought after in the market. Amadou Onana set to go to Aston Villa. Brighton have signed Matt Sweefer, and Brighton always head of the game on recruitment. Those long-legged midfielders, you know, Crystal Palace got Adam Wharton, you know, that can cover large ground, are really, really popular in the game right now. And you've got that in Archie Gray. Well, you potentially got that in Archie Gray, 6'2", really good dual winner because of his legs, really good at winning the ball back, and potentially will give Bissouma some competition. You then got Bergvall, who, you know, has kind of been described as a Frankie de Jong regen, but if you watch him play, I wouldn't say he's a Frankie de Jong regen. I think he's got the technical ability of Frankie de Jong, but he's more of an attacking-minded player than de Jong. Bergvall, I mean, dribbling. You've got Gray, that's an elite passer of the ball, and then Bergvall, that's a great dribbler of the ball that can also pass. I think Bergvall's more of a dribbler who's very good under pressure. But in Bergvall and Gray, you've got two of the best midfielders at 18, 19 years of age, two of the highest rated 18-year-old midfielders. They're both 18 in football. One is a great dribbler, 1v1 player, another's a great passer, but they're both so technically good, so press resistant, so good under possession, so good under pressure, can play possession-based football. And if Ange is given 5-6 years and he does well, he might have the jackpot there as well. Tottenham are also looking at Eze. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail about Eze because I'm sure Tottenham fans are fed up of hearing his name, but this would be a good signing. Someone that can play on the left, someone that can play as an attacking midfielder, potentially deeper. He is someone that progresses play, creates chances, and just does great work in the left half space. He's someone that could be one of Tottenham's best signings in history if he reaches his sort of potential when he fits in the Tottenham, all right. But when he's Premier League proven, he's got good ball protection. He's a great, creator. 17 goals and assists in 26 starts last season, 14 goals and assists in 30 starts the season before. Can cover Maddison, can play at left wing. If you get Eze, that's a great option. You get Doue, that's a great option. Neto, that's a great option. Potentially a striker as well. You're looking at some good players. So personally, in my opinion, I'm not just a United fan giving my opinion on this, but I think Spurs have some great players, some great youngsters. They could be making some good signings. Obviously, they need to do a bit more in the transfer window, and it's very highly competitive, the Premier League. But I think you've got a good manager in Ange, and I think that you've got some good youth. And I think that Tottenham could be building something exciting if they can stay on the right track. Tottenham fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.